Welcome everyone to the pre-council meeting for Monday, April 4th at 5:30. Proceeding over the meeting will be our mayor, Bob Odekirk.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we'll have the city manager discuss tomorrow's agenda items.
Good evening, everyone. First agenda item, 18122, which is the 2021 Annual City Collectors Report. Next agenda item, 18222, which is the regular payroll for December 17th through December 30th, 2021, of $3,599,138.63. Agenda item 183-22, regular payroll for December 31st to January 13th, 2022, $3,769,608.57. Agenda item 18422, special payroll for January 14th, which is $2,950,891.97. Next agenda item 185-22, regular payroll for January 14th through January 27th, 2022, $3,741,712.20. Next agenda item, 186-22, regular payroll, January 28th through February 10th, 2022, $3,538,073.13. Agenda item, 187-22, award of a contract for the 2022 municipal parking lot, which are improvements to the 7196 Caton Farm Road / 1 South Desplain Street to PT Farrell Construction in the amount of $171,380.23. Agenda item 18822, award a contract for purchase of replacement pumps at the Back Roads Lift Station to Xylem Water Solutions in the amount of $1,296,285.80. Agenda item 18922, award a contract for purchase of replacement valves and actuators at the Black Road Lift Station to LII Limited in the amount of $292,212. Item 19022, award a contract for the Illinois Route 53 at Emerald Drive intersection improvements project has been tabled at the request of the petitioner. Professional services agreement for the water loss control, 19122, program to M.E. Simpson Incorporated in the amount of $403,510.00. Item number 192-22, professional services agreement for the Phase 3 engineering services for the Route 53 at Emerald Drive intersection has been tabled at the request of the petitioner. Item 193-22, purchase of water metering equipment from Core in the Main in the amount of $610,400. Amendment number 1 to professional services contract, which is item number 194-22, 2021 decorative street lighting upgrade project to Gray Bar Services in the amount of $5,908.03. Item 195-22, amendment number 4 to the restated professional service agreement for the combined sewer overflow elimination project to Strand Associates in the amount of $295,500. Item 196-22, change order number 2 for the lead surface replacement, Phase 1 to Stipp Brothers Excavating in the amount of $23,755.30, and payment estimate number 8 and final in the amount of $157,475.07. Item 197-22, change order number 2 for the lead surface line replacement Phase 2C to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $11,302.24. Item 198-22, approval of payment for snow removal for February 1st through the 3rd, 2022 to various contractors in the amount of $130,945. Item number 199-22, which is the professional services agreement for strategic communication services with the Max Strategies Group.
Yeah,
Item number,
excuse me.
yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
if we go back to 187, what, 1 South Des Plaines, what parking lot is that exactly? Do we know?
I do not know. I can find out.
I mean, is that the mountain? Is it that, or is it,
I believe it is.
I invite anybody to take a ride through there, it's pretty bad. Hopefully that's it.
Yes, I believe that you are correct, Councilman.
Excuse me. I have a question
Yes.
about the last one, 199-22.
Yes.
So in Finance Committee, we had a approval for a payment made to this group for $9,000, and that was 3 weeks ago. And then I asked about this $9,000 and was then told that it's actually $12,000 a month for the MAC group. And now we're approving it?
Well, what happened was during the budget discussions, I initially asked for a person to be hired here to be a PIO permanently on staff. That was rejected in lieu of hiring an outside consultant. I didn't agree with that, but that's what you indicated that you wished, so that's what I did. I hired an outside consulting group in Max Strategies, and that's how much it costs. I went to different various ones. This is the one that I thought was best. We pay, a police sergeant to $140,000 a year to do public information operations for us. Those are the kinds of things that I find irritating, because here we're short police officers as it is, and I have a police sergeant running a Facebook page for the police department when I could easily have a civilian doing those kinds of things. Not that he does a bad job, he does a great job, but I just don't think it's the best use of his talents, because he's a very talented officer. We also have, the water department also has their own public information officers. So we have these various groups here that in the city that even have their own internal public information officers, and it does a disservice to us. And it did make my life easier by having a public information officer, frankly, to be outside, because every time they have a question, they call me, as opposed to if I had an employee here, they'd be able to walk down the hall and talk to the person directly. Here, they're trying to figure out who those people are, where do they work, what kind of statement. So, it's a tag team of phone calls back and forth with somebody who's really not here. So, but this is what the council directed that I do, so that's what I did.
My point, I guess, is that we've already issued a check and now we're approving the contract.
Well, it's still underneath it hasn't reached the threshold of what I'm able to spend as city manager. So that's why I came to you guys and said, okay, I think it'll be not, I don't think it's appropriate, because I think it's maybe a services it's not quite meet the threshold of services contract. So I brought it back to you guys to approve.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Along those same lines, and I did discuss this with the mayor, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you. As long as we're talking about it, we'll just talk about it. Now, this Matt Butterfield, is he one of the contractees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So all I have noticed is news that I already know. If you read the paper, listen to the radio, watch television, it's everything that we already know. Why are we paying that type of money for that? And like, if you're supposed to be putting out shootings and things like that, there was a shooting on Cathedral neighborhood the other day, and I heard nothing. There's nothing going on. So I'm not quite sure that we should have a contract outside. We should have somebody on the inside that already works here to put these things out. And I don't know why we have to keep reading. By the time I get what's been sent out by this Mr. Butterfield, I already know all about it. It's a waste of time.
Well, okay, Councilwoman, if the council wants me to add a budget item to hire a person, I'd be more than happy to do that, an internal public information.
Well, in the police department, I know, just to use Jessie as an example, I know she works for Deputy Chief, can't think of her name right offhand, Blackburn.
Sure.
And can't they do some of this stuff? Because they're right there in the police department and they know. I mean, Deputy Chief Carlos is here, maybe he can answer that question.
Well, I feel uncomfortable doing that. I believe that we need a professional public information officer, not somebody who just used to work in the clerk's office, and all of a sudden, I guess I could type something out and
Well,
throw
that
it
person
out.
can do what this person's doing, copying everything and putting it out an email to us. I mean, that
Well,
doesn't make
I'm
sense to
hoping for
me.
more. I agree with you, Councilwoman, that's what I'm saying. If you'd like, I would love to have a budget amendment to be able to put a public affairs officer, on the city payroll.
I don't know. I just don't know about this. I don't know why.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Are you done, Jim?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
tend to agree with my colleagues, Councilwoman Reed and Quillman. It seems like the information that we're getting, like she said, we already know it. So why do we need somebody else to do that when we can pick up the paper or listen to the news and get the same information? And so I just wanted to stand with them on their comments, because to me, I see the same thing.
Thank you. Yes.
Like Jan, I went back and counted the last week, and there were 88 posts. 78 of them were from either Shaw Media, The Patch, WJOL. So 90% of what we're seeing is something all of us have already read or has been sent to us numerous times. So I think he has to find new material if he's gonna be worth his money. Or their money, I should say.
I can't, again, Councilman, and council as a whole, again, I'd rather have somebody here internally doing this job. We could pay them a lot less money, and they'll be right here, and we'll be able to better have influence over that. And so he monitors the news across not only Chicago, but the greater Chicago region. So clearly, when we had a new police chief and various other items that made national news, it was on WGN. They did all that work for us. But again, that was only one particular item. So I can see there's absolutely a need and a value to having a public information officer. I don't know if this is the right way to go, but you wouldn't give it to me in the budget. You told me to go this route. So I'm more than happy to hire somebody. Put it back in my budget, I'll grab somebody and I'll hire them right away. We can have them working here. We don't have to pay them this much.
Okay, if I might say, when you said contract out, I didn't know it was gonna be a full-time contract job. It's like 12,000. I thought we were gonna pay contract per story or per, article or news story. That's what I thought it was. I didn't know we were gonna get what we already know.
No, when you do these types of things, you hire with the contracted individual. It's not me calling up somebody and saying, hey, here's a story.
No, I understand that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Per story or whatever. Never mind.
May I, again?
Yes.
You did hire somebody, though, and are you satisfied with what we're getting from this person?
Like I said, I'd rather have somebody in-house. So if you authorize me, I'd be more than happy to change directions. It's up to you as a council.
And what direction would you want to go to
I would
then?
like to hire a full-time employee here at City Hall.
At what salary?
I'd have to look and get something from HR, but anywhere from $70,000 to $90,000 a year. We pay a sergeant right now $140,000 a year.
Anybody can maintain that Facebook page. Any employee here, you can put anything on that Facebook page at any time. You don't need a full-time person to take care of a Facebook page. I'm sorry, you don't.
I'm not saying it's more than just a Facebook page.
Question, am I understanding this, Jim, that you're saying if you were to get this contract approved, that Sergeant English would no longer be our communications
No, not at
specialist?
all.
He still would be doing his job.
Absolutely.
So that's really not connected.
Right, well, I'm saying if I had a person in-house, I wouldn't have to have Sergeant English do that.
Because I believe we've sent the sergeant for training because police departments do want to have their own spokesman or woman who's wearing a badge and understands. It's and I do understand what I think these other council members are saying. I was against it. There's not enough workload. I think if anything, this beta test for this last month has shown there's not enough workload for a full-timer, and there's not as, yes, you can do per campaign. You can have a $5,000 campaign. You can have it, you can do, for instance, the way it's structured in public relations and marketing. As a consultant, I will write per press release in talking to you at $225 per press release, including one rewrite. $25 per rewrite after that, if it goes, yeah, you don't have to have a full-time retained. That's a fact within the industry of marketing and communications. You can do it, I think that's what you were, Councilwoman,
Right,
alluding
yep,
to,
that's what I
was
was
the per
thinking.
job. I was against the whole concept, so, I mean, I would only suggest at this point that it be taken out of the consent agenda and voted on separately for tomorrow.
That's fine.
Krista,
Got it.
thank you.
Moving on to, item 200-22, which is ordinance approving the transfer volume of cap in connection with private activity bond issues and related matters. We have traditionally, last year, we did the same thing with this. This is where, we have, given money to help with, issue tax-free bonds for industrial and residential projects. So, we have done this before. We will continue to do that. We've done this, is the Assist Mortgage Credit Program, which, 3% cash assistance to home buyers, from local lenders that allow buyers to obtain, a mortgage, certificate up to $2,000 per year on their income tax. I think at some point later this year, I'd like to look at some of these programs that we, continually, give money to and see if this is the best thing, because it seems as though, while I've been here now a year, it seems that we just kind of continue to do the same thing and we don't really look around here, because I think it's sometimes easier to do things. I'm not saying that this program is any good or not, but or any other is better than any other, but I think we need to take a look at it and open to some of these things to other folks.
Question, Mayor. So have we gone back and looked to see, or has anybody given us a report on what these monies are helping and who they're helping and what's going on, so that we know
That's
if it's the route to follow before we do that? Are we under the gun?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Right,
here.
are we under the gun to do that right now? Because I would like some type of report.
But I think
And-
we're under the gun on some of these, Councilwoman. So especially CDBG funding, which is
Yeah,
the
right,
next item.
right,
on the
right,
agenda.
right, right.
So, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about here, when I tried to start.
Well, I agree with that, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying.
I
Something
have
we
to
can
get
get
my
before
arms
tomorrow.
around. Right, I don't think we'll be able to get it to tomorrow. I'll double check and I'll get back with you. But,
Mayor, if we don't see it, it's normal. Normal is the one that actually administers this mortgage assistance program. I believe on a statewide, not regional, but statewide basis, then the money just goes back to the state. Okay, my question is, I want clarification, I can't remember, to be honest. We've done this for a number of years and we usually see that we call it a interest-free bond, but it's essentially a revenue grant from the state. We don't pay this bond back.
no, we do not.
Okay, I want to make that clear to folks listening, because usually when you hear bond, you think paying it back, whether it's tax-free or not.
And these monies we're talking about are not coming out of the coffers of the taxpayers of the city of Joliet. They're coming from taxpayers, but from the state. We are a pass-through. We identify the individuals. We help do that, and then we ensure that they're spent properly. So that's something I want to look at here, is to say, is this?
Agree with that, okay.
So, and I'm clearly not saying that these people are not deserving. I think that every once in a while we need to take a look at how these things are done.
No, I'm not saying that either, I'm just saying, who are we helping with that? It
Right.
just makes it a little more palatable.
Yes. Next item is 202-22, a resolution authorizing a CDBG subrecipient grant with Cornerstone Services. Next is the 203-22, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of an agreement for the lease of city-owned parcel at the southeast corner of I-55 and Caton Farm Road for farming.
I have a question on that one too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I looked at the parcel, why is it such a weird setup? It looks like a piece of pie. Why isn't it like a rectangle that he wants to farm?
I would have,
Did you see the
yeah,
overview?
I have no idea, but he wants to farm it and.
It's just, it's bizarre, it looks like this.
Teach his own. So,
Okay.
next item is a resolution, which is 204-22, resolution for the execution of an addendum to licensee agreement with Chicago Billboards. Next is 205-22, resolution approving and authorizing the execution of collective bargaining agreement between City of Joliet and ASME 440. Following that would normally be city manager comments. And I'd like to talk about a couple of things, address a couple of issues. Fireworks, we're having some issues with fireworks. We know we can do one at Bide Park, which is traditionally, I believe, is on July 3rd. We're having trouble finding a second location. We thought we had it solved with the going to the ballpark. The fireworks company has said that they think that that's a really bad option, that the amount of money that we spend on fireworks, it'll be a complete waste, that they won't be able to put on the proper show. It doesn't allow for the height that's necessary for the fallout based on how high they go. So they have actually, because that was like, okay, we'll just do Bike Park, we have fireworks, ballpark, we have fireworks all the time. We continue to look for another place. So, you know, as we struggle to get a nice open field for the 4th of July fireworks. Again, I know that it was discussed originally to have back-to-back at Bide Park, but I know that some people did not support that. So I'm open to suggestions for that as we look around to be able to have a great place to celebrate the country's independence on this July 4th.
Mayor?
One point of clarification, you said the amount of money that we spend on fireworks, we don't generally. We may contribute, but it's done by, various people throughout the community raising money and contributing year after year on July 4th. So I know we've helped with police and overtime and stuff, but it's not simply a City of Joliet show. It's the whole community comes together for the 4th of July fireworks.
Well, we budgeted this year for us to pay for that.
So the plan wasn't to raise money with other entities?
The other entities had backed away because they had trouble with COVID, and some of them were last year. So as we struggled, everybody wanted to have this on tap. We had to pick up the line share last year, so it became untenable. We weren't sure if we would be able to get any money this year. So we built that into the budget because not knowing where we were at. So the city is picking up the tab for that, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Real quick, I talked to Rod Tonelli about this. Maybe he hasn't had the opportunity to talk to you yet.
He did.
Plainfield South is on board, and they just need the details. Plainfield South is completely a Joliet high school within Joliet's boundaries with Joliet students, so it is part of Joliet. It's not Plainfield Central.
Right.
And they would be amicable to hosting it for the 1 year, with the details being discussed between staff and their staff to make sure it's safe.
Right.
And I'm sure it would be if it could be done at other places. So have we made any headway? I talked to
Well,
Wayne
I
April.
talked to Mr. Tanat, I talked to him today. It was premature. He hadn't talked to anybody over at the school yet. I know that he had spoke to you briefly.
Right, I had spoken
And I
to the
didn't want to say
superintendent.
anything tonight because I wasn't sure if that was a way forward.
I had spoken
or
to
not.
Lane April, the superintendent, who said, absolutely, we wouldn't mind hosting it.
Okay.
We need more details to make sure that it's going to fit
I know
the
that he was
footprint.
going to look into it, so I will follow up on that tomorrow.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
And I'll give you an update tomorrow. And that, the comprehensive plan, I know that we had talked about that, so I wanted to give you a brief update. The folks that we had, that were initially contracted with before my time for the comprehensive plan, no longer do that particular type of work. Therefore, we have to start back. So when we called them up, they said, hey, listen, we don't do the type of comprehensive plan you were looking for, where our business model has moved away from that. So we're in the midst of getting another person to, or these folks to do something that might be a little bit more novel in terms of how we integrate some green ideas into the comprehensive plan, which is not something that we had done in the past. So I think it'll wind up working out for the best overall.
Yeah, beyond that, just to let you know, I have the list of the appointments, the committee that we had put together 2 years ago. Many of those names that need to be replaced now for various reasons, so.
Right.
When you're ready to move forward, let me know, and I will present another group to do this.
That'd be great, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And with that concludes my remarks.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Seeing none, there is a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss?
Before we go, Mayor, I got one question. I mean, you're not, maybe nobody here today, Jim, would be able to answer it. We're looking at the $16 million on the tax-free bond. And what strikes me, I need a little more detail. I'm curious now. It says that last year, assuming we had something similar to $16,100,000, it was able to assist 33 home buyers. That's $488,000 per home buyer. You might as well buy them a home.
I think we have a lot. As I recall, and you're just because I was first here, and I think it wasn't quite as much as we got this year.
Can you find that?
I will find that out, though.
Because if it's 16 million divided by 33, I think we have to relook at this, you know, for
We have to look at a lot of the
488,000.
things that we do here in terms of how we, help
Yeah.
some of our members in the community. And
Unless it's a misprint, maybe it's 133 homes.
Yeah.
If you can clarify that, I'd appreciate it.
I'll find out.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition, or conveyance pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
Second.
In motion seconded to approve, Councilman Clement. Aye. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye?
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudron.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried.